Last Breath is directed by Alex Parkinson and stars Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu, and Finn Cole, and is based off of a true story. We follow seasoned deep-sea divers as they battle the raging elements to rescue their crewmate trapped hundreds of feet below the ocean's surface. And before we get into the rest of the video, I do want to give a special thank you to the sponsor, Mando. Mando was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Mando is a high-performance, whole-body deodorant that you can apply everywhere, such as pits, packages, and feet. Mando is clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's grundle odor level was a 5 out of 10. With Mando, the average grundle odor level is a 0 out of 10. They sent me a great package, including the whole body deodorant Mount Fuji scent, as well as the invisible spray in bourbon leather, and the acidified body wash in bourbon leather, as well as the invisible cream in Pro Sport. And my favorite is absolutely the Pro Sport Invisible Cream. Mando's starter pack bundle is a great deal for new customers. It comes with a full-size stick deodorant, a cream deodorant tube, or a spray deodorant, and 2 free products like the wipes or mini body wash. There's free US shipping, and just for you guys, Mando is offering an extra $5 off when you order when you click the link in the description below and enter the code CHRIS5 at checkout. That's a deal of over 40% off. So definitely check out that link in the description below. Thank you so much to Mando for sponsoring this video. Last Breath is a somewhat unique film in that the director of this movie actually directed a documentary about this very story in 2019. So he has a lot of experience and a lot of research with this story. And that no doubt would probably create a feeling of urgency when it comes to authenticity and making sure that things are recreated as they should be, because he was so close to the real life story with that documentary. And I can describe this movie very easily in 2 ways. Number 1, it will remind you that breathing is an actual privilege. You are going to watch this guy at the bottom of the ocean running out of oxygen, and you're going to forget to breathe for a second, and then remember to breathe and think, oh, this is so nice that I can just do this right now. When the film really gets going, it is very effective in its thrills and its anxiety-inducing level of tension. At one point in the movie, a timer starts, and it's not counting down, it's counting up for how long this poor guy is without oxygen. And every time you look at that number, you are reminded at just how long this guy has not been breathing. And it's very effective. And the second way that I can easily describe this movie is that when I was young, there was a certain kind of movie that would often show on network television, whether it was NBC, ABC, one of those networks, Sunday night, usually around 9 p.m. And I would get permission to stay up a little bit later than usual on a school night to watch that movie because it was showing up on network TV, it was edited for content, and I was finally allowed to see it. This is one of those movies for sure. I would have seen it at that time, and then later it would have been played on TNT and TBS at 2 p.m. throughout the week for the rest of my life, and probably still even to this day. It is like the perfect TNT afternoon movie. It will make your dad and grandfather and uncle very happy. And I say this as a dad, so I feel like I officially have permission to say that now. They also do a really phenomenal job at lighting the bottom of the ocean, in that they don't. It is pitch black. He might light up a flare and you get some red, but beyond that, you feel like this guy is going to die in a void of absolute darkness. I could easily see a filmmaker tempted to indulge themselves with extra lighting down there to make it look prettier and like a movie, but this feels as realistic as it possibly could in regards to how it looks. I could also see a filmmaker tempted to add something like a shark or some other fish that might be of danger, but these elements don't happen. The film stays fairly realistic in all of its depictions. There were a few awkward things though. For instance, there's some aspect ratio changes throughout the entire film because it's presented in what appears to be a 2:3:5 or a 2:3:9, and sometimes it goes to 16:9 on certain shots. Now, usually it's sort of like a security cam that is posted up in one of the ships, and you get that that might be a different aspect ratio. But there's also other shots of the outside of the boat and waves are hitting it, and those are in 16:9, but there's pillar boxing on the left and right side, and so it looks very ugly, and perhaps that was because it was delivered to the theater that way. I don't know how it will look on home media. They might change that if you watch it on streaming or Blu-ray in the future. But in the theater tonight, there were moments of the movie that would have black bars on the top and bottom and the left and right, and it just looked very unappealing. And the one thing I'll say about the fact that the director also made the documentary, this is obviously a gigantic plus for the film, but in some ways, it pulls back on emotional elements that could have also been incorporated into the movie that may have been fictional. There's a version of this movie, for instance, where this diver who's on the bottom of the ocean with no oxygen, his fiance, who is in the film, does not know that this is happening. And so we don't really cut back to her. We see her one time during this entire sequence, from what I can remember. There's a version of this movie where this woman knows that her future husband is dying on the bottom of the ocean floor throughout the entire film and is involved in at least some form of communication with everyone else. And that would make it tenser. Yeah, maybe that didn't happen. But things like that sometimes are done for based on a true story movies because you want to make the most entertaining movie possible. But also I respect the fact that it seems that this director is trying to do his best to make this as realistic to real life as possible and respect the real life subjects. And so it's a push and pull between making the best movie you can that's entertaining for people and honoring the real life subjects. All in all, Last Breath is a very enjoyable thriller. Woody Harrelson and Simu Liu are both quite good in the movie. Finn Cole is unconscious for the majority of the movie, but his scenes that he's in are very, very good. There's also moments where they've used footage of a machine that is showing him unconscious, and I don't know for sure, but I wonder if that was actually the real footage, because it very well could be. Alex Parkinson has done a good job here at telling a tense story that will be entertaining enough for people. I don't know that it will have the rewatchability of a movie like Ron Howard's 13 Lives, which is exceptional if you haven't seen it. A lot of people for some reason have not seen that movie and don't talk about it. It's quite good. It's also about some people who are stranded in an area in which water is a real threat. Really damn good movie, but Last Breath is definitely worth a watch, especially if you like thrillers like this. If you see the movie, let me know what you think about it down below. Thank you so much as always for watching, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.